You were working at Target, if I'm not mistaken. You were working a
Yeah,
full-time
it was
job.
21 an hour. They're like 2 hours away from me. I was like, I'm not doing that for that price.
What do you think roughly you'll earn in July?
In July right now, probably between like 3.5 to 5, right in between there.
So you're about to go to Portugal, you said, right? And when you do go to Portugal, you can bring your laptop with you and you can work. And if you need the month off and if you want to take that time to spend time with family, you're still going to make money next month, correct? Because of the recurring commission model.
Honestly, I would just take a leap of faith. I'd literally like just do something similar to I did. If it's not 60 days, 30 days, I would just literally do as much as you could when it comes to this.
What's going on, guys? Today I am here with my man, Zach. He's also from New Jersey. All right, all the way from, you want to tell me where you're from, Zach?
From Newark,
All
North
the way
Jersey.
from Newark, North Jersey. Zach, how did we initially meet? Want to let him know?
Yeah, so we actually met on Instagram. I saw the stuff you guys were doing on Instagram, seeing some posts, kind of, how everything was working. I saw some testimonials, funny enough, and seeing everything how it was going, and then I actually inquired through DMs, and then it all started from there.
Yep. Yep. So Zach inquired about a sales position for Del Priori Hospitality, which is our marketing agency. He took our sales training, and here we are today. Zach, you've been with our team for how long?
Since October.
Since October, and we are currently in June. So November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. It's been basically effectively 8 months as part of the agency at this point. And if you had to give a guesstimate, right, you could just give a range. You don't have to give an exact number. What do you think roughly you'll earn in July? Give me a rough estimate.
In July right now, probably between like 3.5 to 5, right in between there.
Between three and a half and $5,000 in recurring revenue, which is the most important thing. And that's really what we talk about. So, Zach, I'm excited to dive into this. This is designed to basically give people some insight into what it was like for you, obviously going through our sales training, all the pre-recorded content, all the weekly Zooms that you actually hopped on, what you learned, kind of everything that encompasses, right? So you saw proof of concept. You saw we had guys in our agency already that were making, serious money as salespeople for our business. Why did you decide to go down the rabbit hole of marketing agency sales as opposed to a different industry? Why did you pick agency? Was it just because there was a trust factor with our personal brand? Like, why did you decide to go into agency sales instead of a different industry?
So honestly, I actually just came out of college prior to actually coming on with you guys. I was actually doing marketing there, and I actually just gained a big interest for that. And
Mhm.
obviously, sales is a big part. There's really no business without sales. So I was actually, looking into that. And realistically, I just really fell in love with the space of it, especially when I came in, kind of visited you guys that first day on a Friday. I
Mhm.
definitely liked the environment and kind of all went from there, honestly.
Dope. 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 Yeah. So you were a marketing major, right? And kind of just graduated, and I guess you were looking for a position that you could start so you could start making money, right? Effectively. And at the time, you were juggling a full-time job as well. You were working at Target, if I'm not mistaken. You were working a
Yeah,
full-time
I was at
job.
Target. I was doing full-time Target, and I was doing part-time this, and then sure enough, this basically replaced Target.
There you go. So you started earning enough money through commission and whatnot to start replacing that position. Now, Zach, here's the deal. You've been now an outbound salesperson for 8 months, right? As far as the workday goes, from scraping leads, cold calling leads, getting shit on when you call them on the phone, getting hung up on people like just acting crazy over the phone. What's the biggest thing so far that you feel like you've learned in general about sales and just about taking the position for the last 8 months?
Honestly, controlling your emotions. I feel like as soon as someone's like, obviously aggressive, you can just turn that right around, just depending on your reaction itself. Like if you're angry and they're angry, it's just not going to make balance. Or if you think that like you can't get this because they're angry, it's never going to work. In
Right.
reality, you just have to really analyze the situation, and that's been helping me with a lot of my calls where just like they'll pick up, be very, very rude, and all of a sudden they're just like listening to you and they're listening, keep asking you questions, and all of a sudden, you guys got a meeting booked, and they get to learn a little bit
Boom.
more about our product.
Yep. Yep. How about the sales training aspect? How about that part? As far as like all the Zoom calls that you hopped on, obviously that I was personally on, all the pre-recorded content that you got access to actually watch how we call, how we lead scrape, all that stuff. Kind of what do you make of all that content? Do you feel like that was good info, or do you feel more like just diving in and getting access to everything is really what teaches you the most?
So honestly, it's a bit of both. So the scripts you guys had in place when I first came on, they were perfect. Honestly, it was A to Z. I knew exactly what I was doing, and then obviously, well, like anything, it just came with practice. I definitely
Uh-huh.
off the rip, I was kind of nervous, but
Hmm.
as I just kept diving in, learning a little bit more about different situations, and basically handling all the objections, honestly, I got like a really good rhythm of it. But like I said, it's
Yeah.
just honestly, it's just a numbers game, a lot of repetitiveness. And yeah, honestly, the scripts are there, everything's there, so it's just a matter of how much work you put in.
There's probably going to be some college students watching this, people that maybe just graduated, maybe people that are still in college that are watching this that are maybe a little bit hesitant. They're nervous about getting into sales in the first place. They don't really know 100% what they want to do. What advice would you give to that person if they've learned a little bit about our company? They understand that we run a marketing agency. They understand that we bring people on, to get a sales role within our company. What would you tell them if they're hesitant to reach out? Because I'm sure, obviously, before you got to actually know me, you might have been a little bit hesitant too, right? You watch some of our content, but you don't really know me personally. You just see me in a video. What would you tell that person based on your experience so far?
To bounce off of that, I was actually following up with Leo. I was actually asking him, DMing him. He was a person and one of the testimonials. And obviously, it's one thing that someone put like a testimonial online. They can obviously pay for someone like that. But I just
Yep.
wanted to reach out to Leo directly, ask him, and basically chat. And we had a lot in common. But honestly, coming out of college is just obviously like me and a lot of others that I know. You just kind of get put out there, right? You're not really trained for like the real world in a sense. You kind of just get A's and B's on your tests, and then you graduate. And it's like, yeah, all right, what do I do now? So it's like kind of sense of like lost, right? Depending if on your degree or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
But honestly, it just comes down to exactly what you feel like. Honestly, for me, when I coming into this, I just want to make myself uncomfortable. Because in a space of comfortability, you're never really going to grow. So I literally just made myself like a promise, and I just tried this literally for 36. Actually, it was like 60 days. I made like a little reminder in the back of my head, and I just wanted to try for those 2 months and see what I was out of it. Sure enough, in those 2 months, I had two deals that obviously went through, and from there, I just felt like, all right, this can actually be something for me. And then fast forward
Yeah.
months on the line, and it's been great for me. So honestly, just kind of put yourself in a place where you can be uncomfortable, and that's where you find yourself growing the most.
And for you, Zach, I'm willing to toss in the fact that, good on you for reaching out, but there was most definitely an element of luck in the sense of us both being from the state of New Jersey was fantastic for the both of us. And then outside of that, what was also great is the recurring commission model, right? As you know, a lot of businesses don't pay people recurring commissions. They pay one-time fees, and their salespeople are just, quite frankly, underpaid, and they're also burnt out. And that's why within our agency, we've created a commission structure where everyone inside of our business can literally take their laptop and go work from wherever the hell they want, right? And that's one of the biggest things that I know I kind of spoke to you about in the very beginning, when you were considering a position with our company is like, yeah, obviously we have a physical location where we can have everyone tight knit working together. But at the same time, if you want to make calls and you live in Canada, like Brandon and Marco, you can make calls in Canada. If you want to make calls and you're in Texas, like Sharam, you can do it. If you're in a different region of the world, you have the opportunity to make money completely remote. So talk about the remote aspect of it. Like, is that something that you prefer as opposed to being somewhere physically in person? Like you went from working at Target, right, to working a job where you're making not only more money, but also you have the geographic freedom to work where you want. So on that comparison scale, what do you like the most about the position? Is it the recurring commission model? Is it the actual amount of money and the opportunity to scale? Like, what are some of the perks that really stood out to you in terms of the position? And then what's your actual favorite thing about the position in itself?
Honestly, the flexibility was a big factor when coming into this. I'm actually going to Portugal this past, in the next month, and I'm actually going to probably most likely be calling there just for, like a part-time thing there. And obviously, when I
Yeah.
come back, I'm right into the game. But I think the
Hmm.
flexibility is such a big thing, and the fact that you can get a reoccurring, obviously, when your deal's closed, you can obviously have like a reoccurring aspect to it where you don't have to rely on like making so many sales just to get back to that point where it's obviously a
Yep.
reoccurring thing. Obviously, deals can
Hmm.
drop, but that's just, life's not always the way you want it to go. But in a
Right.
sense, we have a good product. Everything's good here. So honestly, the rate's pretty low on that aspect. But
Yep.
honestly, just the flexibility of it. It's a great thing to have. And the fact that I can go in my backyard, I can go in my basement, my room. Obviously, even the environment, even if you're working remote or even in person, the environment between the guys just such a great thing to have. Even if it's on Zoom or in person, it's definitely one that I enjoy being around. And that's why, obviously, I've still been here, counting
Let
in
me
8 months.
ask Beautiful. Let me ask you a question. I don't know if we ever went over this. Did you ever try building your own business at some point, Zach, like in the past, or doing some kind of entrepreneurial venture like day trading or drop shipping or anything like that? Did you attempt any of those businesses or no?
So on the side right now, I kind of do some reselling on shoes. It's
Yep.
like a crazy scale, but I made some money there, and obviously just reselling stuff on marketplace here and there.
Yeah.
Whether it deals like just random stuff.
Yeah.
I
Just
I
for
made
fun.
myself
Yeah.
I do like a little part-time thing, based alongside Target, but then obviously this kind of covered that. But here and there, I mean, even detailing cars, I'll go detail friends' cars. I still do that on the side. But yeah, I mean that was kind of like my two things, just sneakers and then kind of detailing cars.
I don't know why I thought that you did something for whatever reason. I could have sworn that you did something along the lines of like e-commerce, something. Maybe it was someone that you were trying to connect with. I can't fully remember. Maybe it was somebody else. But basically, what I was getting to was if you look at the amount of people that have tried to join our sales team and the amount of people that have actually succeeded in terms of when I say success, they've been able to get a larger return on investment than what they paid or whatever time they put in. They actually were able to return the investment of time and money. Sorry, I was just getting a call. They were able to return the investment of time and money. As a salesperson, so many of our guys succeeded so massively. But as an agency owner, so many people fail. People underestimate how hard it is to run your own marketing agency, how much capital you need, how many hires you need to make, how complex the business gets, the structure of it, the niche. Like there is so many moving parts, billing issues, tax issues, operation. Like it gets crazy as you start growing the whole business. But what I noticed through working with all you guys, you, Dan, Joey, Anthony, everybody, is I realized, okay, we have a bunch of young guys that are coming into our business that are making serious money in commissions and they're getting deals pretty quick. So they're able to see these recurring deals and these recurring commissions come through relatively fast. Why are we not doubling down on getting more people added to our sales team? Versus the amount of people that tried building their own marketing agency that failed, that I was mentoring and that I was coaching, it kind of left a pit in my stomach. So what I did, Zach, is I took a lot of these guys that I was coaching on how to build a marketing agency, and I told them, I have a sales position for you. Come here, join our sales team, and I know you're going to make money. And that's how I met a lot of the guys that we work with to this day. And now they're making serious money in commission. They have less stress than a business owner. They can travel when they want to. They live a pretty decent friggin' life. And at the end of the day, they don't need to spend 80, 90 hours a week working. They can come in and work hard between 9 and 5, or really whenever they want to, as long as they're booking a certain amount of appointments. And from there, they're pretty much free to go. So the way that I look at it is it's like, I'm so happy that you joined our sales team, and I'm so happy that you have the opportunity to add more and more commission that way and continue scaling your income that way. Because the amount of people that have tried to start their own business that have just failed, that got super discouraged, they don't understand how complex it is to run your own company. It gets crazy. Whereas as a salesperson, you take someone's existing product or service that you already know is good, that you already know is trusted, that you already know is liked. And if the commission model is good, you can just take that person's thing and go sell as much of it as you possibly can and really scale that way through your commissions, especially with the recurring commission model that we offer, right? So through our agency, we work with wedding and event businesses, and we also work with restaurants and hotels and things of that nature. And we sell them marketing services for thousands of dollars a month because we have a luxury service that works very well for our clients. And Zach, as a salesperson, you go out and you help us generate more business, right? And let's say we sell a hotel a $2,000 a month marketing service, Facebook ads, SEO, and a CRM. You're entitled to a percentage of that deal every single month residually. And that in itself is where we see our guys having massive success, where even Mike on pace to make over $150,000 this year. It's insane. As a 21-year-old, I don't know many 21-year-old entrepreneurs that make $150,000 a year. Very, very one off, very one off. And to even get a job like that out of college is hard, right? What was the job market like for you, Zach, coming out of college? Were you able to find like half decent jobs or not really? Because you told me you were working at Target. Well, what happened?
Honestly, it comes down to your experience. So obviously, looking now, you
True.
can obviously get something a little more, especially when you have experience like this. But
Mhm.
realistically, I mean, it wasn't the best. I mean, I was applying left to right.
Because I
But
hear this too. I've been hearing this from different guys we've hired that have graduated college. Because for me, as you know, I don't discriminate, right? I barely got my high school degree. But when people come to me and they're like, oh, I just graduated Rutgers, I just graduated UCLA, I just graduated Delaware, all these prestigious schools. And then they're like, yeah, no, like I applied for 100 jobs and I wasn't able to get hired. I'm like,
Well,
damn,
well, not only
like,
that, but like these jobs, like I mean, at the time at Target, I was making close to like 20 an hour, 21 with tips. But the thing was that literally like an entry level job would be literally that. And obviously for the work balance and the work, comparison, I mean, Target was really flexible. Some of these other places aren't. If your life's on the move, you got kind of look for that flexibility. But realistically, I mean, the pay wasn't even there either to even consider going into these places that or even farther places. I mean, Target for me was about 20-minute trip. Some of these other places doing the same amount, 20, 30 an hour, or 20, 21 an hour. They're like 2 hours away from me. I was like, I'm not doing that for that price.
yeah, so you you
Honestly, it just
weren't
depends.
yeah, you weren't able to generate the kind of income that you wanted. I understand. I understand. Yeah, bro, but that's the nice thing too. So you're about to go to Portugal, you said, right? And when you do go to Portugal, you can bring your laptop with you and you can work. And if you need the month off and if you want to take that time to spend time with family, you're still going to make money next month, correct? Because of the recurring commission model. And that you would never unlock working at Target. And that's the true freedom of this position is that you could go make $20,000 a month selling cars. You could be a car salesperson making $20,000 a month. You leave that dealership, your income is dead. You're making no money. Okay. I would rather take less money being able to work from wherever I want with residual commission versus a job that locks me into a singular and solitary location where I'm forced to be there to make that money. And that's the beautiful thing about the position. I'm so happy to see that we're building that for everyone. And I'm happy that you took the leap of faith and joined because you would have never unlocked that. And that to me is the actual most important aspect of financial freedom. It's the ability to generate income from anywhere geographically. To me, like I said, that's the most important thing. Everything else precedes that, but that's the most important thing. And then obviously your numbers matter too. You want to make good income and you're going to be making great income, but that's the most important thing. So, yeah, bro, if there's someone watching us right now, Zach, that is hesitant, that's in your position, they just graduated, or maybe they've been in the job market for a couple of years, they worked a couple sales jobs, they're not sure if this is the right fit for them, they're not sure if they want to work on commission, they have all these questions and all this hesitation. What is the piece of advice that you're giving to that person?
Honestly, I would just take a leap of faith. I'd literally like just do something similar to I did. If it's not 60 days, 30 days, I would just literally do as much as you could when it comes to this. 30
Mhm.
days. Promise yourself 30 days, just see how much you can do. And then from there, let you see if, this is something worth you. Obviously, your first month, you may not have any deals. Or in your first month, you may have like 20 deals. Like it all
Yeah.
depends, depending on what you guys do, but, what you do specifically. But realistically, I would just do the leap of faith. I mean, it's no times like today, right? So just kind of dip right into it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we have a pretty interesting work culture, which
All right.
we can go
Fun.
into. And did you expect it to be what it was, or did you expect it to be a little different?
Honestly, I expect it to be the same way. Honestly, I mean,
Wow, that's
outside of
surprising.
maybe outside of Dan, I wasn't expecting him, but yeah, it's funny though. It's a good culture.
Yeah. We got some characters on our sales team, put it that way. So that's another thing that you guys probably are going to love. And, if you do reach out and decide to join our team, is that we're a young team that's also aggressive, which is great. And that's what you need. That's how big companies are built. I don't like to hire guys that are in their late 40s, early 50s, that are already later on in life. They don't have that young, motivated hunger where people want to get into the job market and make serious money because you're just starting to make an imprint on your career. This is why we like people that are right out of high school, right out of college, in college. You're at that age where you really want to start making money. You want to start building a name for yourself and you want to start building your income. So if you're young, I look to hire young people. That's really ideally, what we look for, and that's ideal. So yeah, if that's something that you're interested in, feel free, like I said, to send me a DM. And Zach took all the sales coaching. He was coachable, came in, learned everything he needed to learn, and now he's fucking killing it, and he's going to continue growing, which is good. And that's really what it's all about. So dope, man. Zach, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. And I guess we'll get back to calls for today, right? We'll dive
Yep,
back in.
right back to it. An hour
All
left.
right, bro. All right, bro. I'll catch you. I'll talk to you. Thanks, bro.